I'm sorry that we cannot have our class today because of technological problem. Let's look at this one. We have been submitting our assignment very late. So from now onward, we'll not be able to accept it as it is. For every hour of late submission, we are going to deduct 1 point. So if it is 11:55, if you cross that, we already deducted 1 point until 12:55. So if says you didn't submit there and then you submit in the morning, so you're going to lose 6 points already. So try to submit it on time. And it is students' responsibility to inquire if you did not receive the assignment. This is not excuse, okay? Not an excuse. If you don't, then that is your responsibility. If the scanner is not available, use your phone to take beautiful pictures. Don't simply take which I cannot read. It should be clear and readable. And next week we are going to have our vocabulary test. This is the words. This is the Hebrew words. I'll be giving you the Hebrew words and you're going to fill in one of these words, or you could even fill two. So I'll give you this one. How do you read this one? Aleph, Shigol, and Lamet. So if why translation is very good is that you can see how it transliterate, and then here we have the transliteration within this bracket. So this should be a good help for you. We have Aleph, Shigol, and Lamet. So this is called L, unto, two words. How about this one? We have the transliteration here. Even this one follows the rules. There is, it says could be three, but here is only two. So what we have here is that Elohim. This is the word that I'm going to give you, and then you have to give me this one. Okay, I'll give you this one, and then you have to give me that. Here we have Ammar. Ammar. The meaning is say. Eretz. Art. We have Aser. We have, this is who, which. This is relative pronoun. We have at. You'll see that this at and these two are similar. So whichever you give, I'll accept that. This is prefix preposition be. The meaning is in. This is bo. Go in, enter, or come. This is bo. Okay, the word is bo. We have ben, son. We have ha. This is a prefix definite article. The. So you can just put the. Okay. And we have, see the difference with these two. They are very similar. It's only with the vowels that they are different. Here we have hatef, patak. Here we have only patak. The hatef, matak make into a question mark. Okay, a question mark. If you put question mark or if it says interrogative particle, I'll still accept it. And here is another word, haya, be, happen, become. This is the meaning. We could enter one of these. We have ve. This is and, also, or even. This is conjunction. So try to memorize this. For you to memorize these, you could make a what we call vocabulary flashcard. Here, this is the front side, and this is the back side. So what you'll have here is that in the front side, you could have the Hebrew words and the meaning or all the variants at the back. Here you could have the front side, the Hebrew, and then at the back side you could have the meaning. We don't need to write this, only the meaning will do as long as you have. Try to make it in a strong or a thick, a little thicker flashcard, and make sure that they are all the same size for convenience, because when you want to flip it, when you want to shuffle it, it'll help you. So try to have it cut properly. Let's look at classification of the syllable. We have what is tonic, which is also called ultima. We also have pretonic, which is also called penultima. And we also have propretonic, antepenultima. What does they mean? Tonic is the accented syllable. Wherever the syllable is, that is, wherever the accent is, that is the tonic. What is pre-tonic? That is the syllable just before the tonic. Okay, you have the tonic here. We have pre-tonic before the pre-tonic. So syllable before the pre-tonic syllable. That is what we see. So let's look at this example. Where is the tone syllable? And the rule says that if there is no marks, if there is no marks, then the tone syllable is over here. So where is the tonic syllable? This is the tonic syllable, okay? This is the tonic syllable. And then what will this be? This will be pre-tonic syllable. This will be pre-tonic syllable. This will be tonic syllable. And let's look at this one. Where is the tonic syllable? Since this one have an accent mark, so it already marks. This is a tonic syllable. And where is the pre-tonic syllable? There is none because the tone comes first. The stress comes first. There is no pre-tonic, there is no pro-pre-tonic. Okay? So these only have a tone syllable or a tonic or ultima. Let's look at these words. How about this word? Where is the tone syllable? Since these two does not have any accent mark, so as a rule the accent falls on the last syllable. So rim is the tonic syllable. And then how about ba? Ba is just before the tonic syllable, so it is going to be the pre-tonic syllable. How about de? De is even before the pre-tonic, so this is called pro-pre-tonic. So devarim, devarim, devarim. So we have de is the pro-pre-tonic, va is the pre-tonic, and rim is the tonic. So you'll see that it's just the arrangement. Wherever the accent falls, wherever the accent falls, that syllable is called tonic syllable. Whatever comes before the tonic syllable is called the pre-tonic syllable. And then if there is another syllable that is even before the pre-tonic, then that is called pro-pre-tonic syllable. How about this one? Well, we don't have any accent mark, so the accent falls on the last. So this is the tone syllable, tonic syllable. And pa is the pre-tonic syllable. And se is the pro-pre-tonic syllable. Sepharim, sepharim, that's the word that we have. I hope you're fine with that. So what are the classification of syllable? Syllables are classified into tonic, pre-tonic, and pro-pre-tonic. Well, how? Based on their position. Based on their position in adjacent with the tonic syllable. Let's look at the ges forte. The ges forte, what is the ges? The ges is the dot. It's the dot that we find here. And then you already see here, the ges forte, if any alphabets or consonant has the ges forte, okay? Forte. Then it is equal to two of those consonants. Let's see how it turns out. So we have two types of the ges. Two types of the ges. One is forte, second one is lene. Let's look at the classification. Well, the ges lene is strictly in the begat kefat letters. If it is not the begat kefat letters, then that lene the lene or the guess you find is always a forte. And what it does is that it gives a hard pronunciation. It gives a hard pronunciation. So that's their function, okay? This is the function. And then you'll only find it in the begat kefat letters. How about the guess forte? You can find the guess forte in all letters except guttural. So that means even begat kefat letters could have a forte. So what are the gutturals? We have res, chet, he, ayin, and aleph. What is the function of the guess forte? Whenever you find the guess forte in a consonant, it will double the consonant, just as you see here. It doubles. Since the dalet here has a forte, so when you are going to read it or transliterate it, you need to have two the guess. Two of those consonants written. I hope we will have some example over here. So let's look at this one. We have Genesis 1 verse 1. Bereshit bara Elohim et Hashamayim. That's the word that we have here. So there are, you see, few the guess here. Let's see what kind of the guess are they. Let's look at what kind of the guess are they. Let's look at this Hashamayim. Hashamayim, is this a begat kefat letters? No, it is not part of a begat kefat letters. Is it a gutturals? No. So that means that the guess here, if it is not gutturals, if it is not begat kefat letters, then for sure it is the guess forte. So how are we going to read this one? So we say is that the function is that it doubles the consonant. Here is the picture that we have. We have het, patak, and shin, right? We have het, patak, and shin. So here what it does is that it doubles. It makes the shin into two in your transliteration. This is how you're going to read. Hash, sha, mayim. Hash, sha, mayim. Hash, sha, mayim. You see, so it's double. So that's the kind of function it plays here. How about let's look at this word. How about the guess in be? Is it begat kefat letters? Yes, it is a begat kefat letters. So this could be lene or a forte. But we'll try to see how do we decide if this is a forte or a lene, because this is a begat kefat letters. The same here. This is a begat kefat letter. So we have to know if this is lene or forte. Let's look at the rules. How are we going to understand it? Now, since only begat kefat letters could have a lene and the rest are forte, we don't need to worry about other letters. We only need to look at the begat kefat letters, which have a dages, okay? Whenever you see a begat kefat letters having a dages, that's when you have to decide. You have to call up these rules. In a begat kefat letters, if there is a dages, if it is preceded by a consonant, if it is preceded by a consonant, then it is going to be a lene, okay? How about a forte? If it is preceded by a vowel, then it will be a forte. Let's look at the example here. We says that shewa is not a vowel, right? So what precedes this? The guess is lamet. So is lamet a consonant? Yes. So the rule says that if it is preceded by a consonant, so this is going to be a lene. How about ata here? The word ata, you. Okay, this is a pronoun, you. or I'm not sure, it could be a now, ata now. We'll have to check that. If it is preceded by a vowel, then it is going to be a forte. So what do we have here? We have a vowel. Then this is a forte. So we have atta, atta. And another pointer is that if it begins a word or a syllables in a word, so if it begins, in the previous we have be, re, beresit, right? So this begins a syllable. So if we go back to Genesis 1 verse 1, since it begins a word or a syllable, then this is a lene. But I think the simple rule is that just look at if it has a vowel, then you just decide. So this is not very important. So just try to remember this one. It is easier. The guess is a forte in any letters except gutturals and begat kefet letters with a the guess lene. So this is a simple rule. And just know what is a forte. How 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 are I going to decide here? Let's look at some example of the guess forte here. How about this one? Is this a the guess forte or a the guess lene? First, is this a begat kefat letters? No. So for sure, this is a forte, right? This is a forte. So if it is a forte, it has a doubling effect. We have hookah. Let's see, how about this one? Is this a begat kefat letters? Yes, it is a begat kefat letters. But what is the rule says? If it is a begat kefat letters, we have to look at if it is preceded by a vowel, and this is yes. So this is a forte again, because it is preceded by a vowel. How about Uriah? Uriah. Uriah. So what we have here is that we have two the guess, this one and this one. How about this one? Is it a begat kefat letters? No. But what is this? This is a vowel, so this is not going to be a forte, okay? This is just a vowel. How about the guess in the yacht? We see that this is preceded by a vowel here, and then this is not a begat kefat letter, so therefore this is a forte. Okay, this is a forte. In fact, you can consider hirek yot as a vowel. So this is a lene. U, ri, ya. So this is a lene, this is a forte. Oh, let's just clear this one. How about te pila? Is the first, let's look at this one. Is this a the guess forte? First, we have to consider if this is a begat kefat letters. Yes, this is a begat kefat letter. Begat kefat, the last letter of the begat kefat. So, if it is a begat kefat, and then the rule says if it is preceded by vowel, there is no vowel, and then it is at the beginning. So, this is not a forte. How about pi, la? Well, is this a begat kefat letters? Begat kefat? No. So, for sure, this is a forte. Okay. Te, pi, la. That's what we have. Well, we could have more exercise on that, but we'll not have time to do that. What kind of a guess is this? Let's go ahead. Let's deal again with vocal shiva and silent shiva. We already know these. There are vocal shiva and silent shiva. Vowel sounds often reduce to repeat speech and indistinct, and it become indistinct. So we already talked about this one. And we says that it does not belong to any muse. We already look at this. Let's look at rules of Seva. The rules of Seva is that it is to decide whether it is vocal or silent. So a silent Seva, a Seva is silent if the previous vowel is short. So we are looking at short vowel. Okay, this is the key. In the previous in the guess forte we says any vowel, right? But here a short vowel. You need to remember. So I think the key will be S and S here. Shewa would like short vowel. Shewa short. So just try to make a mental connection of this. Let's say assonance or this vowel. So we are going to look at. Suppose this is here. This is a short vowel, and then we have a shewa here. The rule says that if it is preceded by a short vowel, then this will become silent. Okay, this will become silent. In most other circumstances, it is vocal, and the vocal shewa will always occur in an open syllable. In an open syllable. So I think what you have to focus is the one here. Just focus on this one and then it will be saved. So these are some of the things that you could go, but I think this is a good summary. For the guess forte, just remember that any vowel, if they preceded the guess in a beget kafat letter, then it is a forte. How about rules of Shiva? A Shiva is silent if preceded by a short vowel. So remember short, Shiva, and short. Okay, this is what you have to remember. Then it's easy to remember. Let's look at how are we going to differentiate kamets and kamets hatuf. We already learned in the vowel that these two signs could either be kamets hatuf or kamets. If it is a kamet, it has a long asa. It has a long asa in father, father. But kamets hatuf, if it is a hatuf, becomes a short O class vowel as in bottle, bottle. So how do we know? If you're not sure of if that is a hatuf or kamets, just go with a kamets, okay? You'll not go wrong too much. How do I identify this? Let's look at kamets hatuf will occur in a closed syllable only. And then it'll be unaccented syllable. And kamets will prefer open pretonic syllable. So your syllable needs to be, you have to learn that. That's the rule. Pretonic. And then it is going to be open. If you find a kamets in a pretonic syllable which is open, then it is always a kamets. And you'll see this small vertical line here. It is called methek. So this, if you find this methek, a vertical line to the left of the kamets, then it is an indication that this is also a kamets, not a hatuf. So here, let's see. How about this one? This is close. This is close. It has to be unaccented. Even though this is close, ta is close. Even though it is close, but this is accented. There is no syllable accent mark over here. So this is close. This does not qualify. So still this is a hatuf. Okay, this is a hatuf. Batam atta. How about batim? The gas in the town is a forte. okay? This is a forte. Because it is preceded by a vowel, this is a vowel, so this is a closed syllable. But however, even though this is a closed syllable, the presence of methek make it into a kamet. Otherwise, it could be a confused. Could say botim, right? But however, these are the indicators that will let you know that this is a kamet. So first, we say that it prefers open syllables and then in the pretonic syllables. And also a methek beside the kamets will be a good indicator that this is a kamets. Otherwise, I think what you have to see is that look at the kamets. Did they occur in an open syllable? If it is in a closed syllable, so you have to know your rules of syllable. If it is in a closed syllable, it will be a hatuf. Plus, if it is unaccented, but if it is accented, then it is not. So this is what you can see, close unaccented. Let's look at this. Hokma. This is how it is written. Hokma. We'll see that we can divide this one here. Is this a vocal sewa or a silent? It is preceded by a vowel, so this is a silent sewa. So we have ma here. And how do we decide these two, whether they are kamets or kamets hatuf? It has to be close and unaccented. This is unaccented, so, and it is close. So this has to be a hatuf, right? How about this one? This also is close, but this is accented. So therefore, this is a not a kamets hatuf, but a kamets only. So I say this is a kamets hatuf, and this one is a kamets. How about this? This is a kamets hatuf, because most of the time it is going to be joined. Otherwise, if it is not joined, you'll have, instead of this one, you're going to find call. Okay, this is what you're going to find. Let's look at some example here. Here we have call, but we says that if there is a makef here, this is called makef, so it joins and then this one loses its accent. So this is not accent anymore, this is unaccented and it's close, so that's why it is hatuf. You'll see the same case here, the same case here, and the same case here. Otherwise, if it is not joined with a makef, then it is a defective writing. You could have the vav there, right? Holem vav there. So you'll see that this is a close. That's why it is a hatuf. Kametz hatuf. We, you can go through that again. Fortif patak. This is a patak, but we says that when you read, this is going to be, you say bo, re, ha, right? You have to put it like this. This one is the last of the syllable. But words does not end with vowels except for the kamets in the calves of feet or uh, or a shewa in the calves of feet. Otherwise, they don't stop. So if you find a pasak at the end with khe and ayin, then patak may appear beneath this, and it is called furtive patak. So just remember how to pronounce at this moment. You don't need to learn so much. It should be pronounced and transliterated before the kurul, the kutural. So you're going to transliterate it as be, re, bo. I mean bo, re, not ha, hak. Okay, but this one will come before the cat. So boreak. That's how we are going to pronounce, okay? That is called furtive patah. Just for you to remember. Borea. And we could have more example here. Rakia. So it always rock. And then there is also called quiescent left. When a left occurs with a vowel, it is called quiescent, not considered to be a consonant with reference to rules of syllable. So yeah, they'll just stay like that. It should not be pronounced, but should be transliterated. So what we have here, hata. Here, this is quiescent. You only pronounce this one, but you ignore this one. But in your transliteration, you still have to include it, but it doesn't affect the pronunciation.